Hi there, I'm Christy. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my kitchen, to my homestead, to my home. I am in Northern Alberta, growing zone 2B. Northern Alberta is in Canada, for those of you that weren't sure. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the new followers and all the new subscribers. Welcome, and it's so great to be able to interact with you and learn where you're from. I'm really enjoying getting to know you as well. So I hope that you continue to interact on my videos so I can learn about you as well. So today is another day. If you've been watching the last few videos, you know I'm taking part in the Pantry Challenge, the Three Rivers Challenge, which is hosted by Three Rivers Homestead. Jessica over there, she is a really wonderful lady who decided to make this goal in this challenge to use up stuff that was in the pantry. Now, I am taking part in this challenge. One, I set out because I wanted to, and two, because I kind of have to. I am still stranded at home. I still have no vehicle running at where I'm located. It's literally frozen up. Today is the day that they're bringing a Herman Nelson, which is a heater, to go under the vehicle to warm it up so that it can at least get boosted or get started with a battery charger. It has just been frigid cold up here. The reason we are in this really cold, extreme temperatures is because we have a high pressure come over the North Pole, and that high pressure come from Siberia. So we're in this deep freeze, and it's not, we're used to getting low temperatures like -50 wind chills or -40, -45 degrees temperatures, but not for this long of a duration. It's been really cold, much more than we are used to experiencing in this part of the province in this part of Canada. So some of the things that happened the last couple of days is I had a chicken emergency. I also have another animal emergency today that I'm going to share with you, because if you are ever in a situation where you're stranded in a really cold blast of air on your homestead and you're stuck with animals, don't know how to deal with these frosty conditions and these really icy cold conditions, something that can happen with livestock, with horses and cattle. Cattle are really much more harder to deal with this problem. But horses mainly, they will get ice build up over their lashes and ice build up under their hooves. And so that's one of the problems I'm having today, is the humidity come up and our horses are struggling with ice. So what I normally do in a situation like this is before the temperatures are cold, before the humidity comes up, I usually take Vaseline, which is a petroleum jelly. I'm not sure if it's like a brand name just here in Canada, or Vaseline is something that everyone has everywhere, but the brand I use is Vaseline, and it is a petroleum jelly. So what that does is I can take like a makeup brush and I can brush the petroleum jelly on the eyelashes of the animal, like my horse, and then that prevents the ice buildup. Because otherwise what happens is the ice kind of sits on the eye and it can freeze the eye, can get frostbitten, can like on the eyeball itself. These are really serious situations. It could cause blindness and a lot of pain and discomfort. So I like to make sure to prevent it from happening. Today I have some ice buildup going on my animals, which I have petroleum jelly en route. Now I'm gonna go trying to get dinner started. I'm gonna get my butt outside, start thawing these horses out so I can get some stuff on their lashes, get their feet picked out and stuff like that, so that they're not gonna be wobbly and risk breaking a leg, because they get these balls and they're literally walking on like it's kind of like them walking on a baseball, and they're just wobbly all over, so they can bow a tendon or they can break a leg very easily if they slip and fall or bend the wrong way. Mostly tendons are what it injures more frequently. Some people shoe their horses and put these little poppers so that the ice doesn't stay. We have one pony that tends to have more ice buildup because he is foundered. His feet are more flatter and they're just not as uniform. A normal horse can kind of pop out that snow on their own and that ice buildup, but he has a flat foot. So it's like every day you have to go out with a chisel and chisel it out, or you can put a product in there to help eliminate that buildup. Some people use cooking spray and some people use Vaseline. I tend to use Vaseline. Cooking spray can be extremely dangerous to spray if you're not watching and careful. So I would really love to show you that process today by taking the video, but I am here by myself. I don't have anyone to help me film, and it is still 30 something, I think it's 33 or 35 below Celsius outside with a really nippy wind chill. So I don't think my equipment will run. I think the batteries will die, and I just have to use my phone to do the videoing, and I want to make sure my phone is not going to have a drained battery in case of an emergency I need to call for help, just because I'm here by myself in these conditions. If you're interested in seeing that process of what I do with my livestock, in the case of we have cold temperatures. Now, horses, animals, they get ice on their lashes. It doesn't have to be 30 below. It just depends on their humidity. It depends on the wind chills. It depends on a lot of things. So ice buildup does occur. Actually, when you are, like if you're a runner or someone who spends a lot of time outdoors, and you are at risk in cold temperatures getting windburn, you can actually put Vaseline on your skin. A lot of people actually put Vaseline on their chicken's legs to create a barrier so that the frost cannot sit on the skin. And because remember that frostbite occurs when there's humidity, when there's moisture on the skin, and that's when those cold temperatures like the wind chill can penetrate that moisture, and that's when that freezing occurs. So as long as you can keep that barrier from whatever humidity there is, and keep a barrier from that cold air reaching that humidity that's on the skin or on the hair or on the whatever, you're going to be able to beat the cold temperatures and not become windburnt or frostbitten. Just like animals like the chickens and the guinea fowl and the animals that are, Canadian geese or all those different birds, a lot of them actually create a type of a oil that makes them weatherproof. It makes their feathers weatherproof, so then the humidity cannot affect them. They fluff up and they trap the air, and it's they can maintain 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe it is. Fahrenheit, not Celsius, Fahrenheit. I just read that somewhere. I actually looked it up on a game warden's website somewhere just to make sure I remember correctly from what I've learned from locals up here when they explain this to me about raising any type of fowl or poultry in these conditions. The other thing, sometimes they'll grow scales, and there's different oils that, like the oils that they produce, create a barrier so that frost cannot penetrate or cannot sit on the skin and create the frostbite. So that's why petroleum jelly works so well, and it's also a beauty hack. So if you want long, luxurious lashes, just put some petroleum jelly on your lashes and it'll grow like crazy. Literally, that's a beauty hack. You can look at it anywhere. People do this all the time for beauty hacks. So clearly, some of the products, like some mascara products here in Canada, some of them do actually have a type of a petroleum product, jelly product in them to prevent icing. Literally ice crystals building up on the lashes. So lots of times you'll see me wearing mascara outside, and it's because that's basically why. So to prevent myself from getting ice buildup when I'm out in wind chills, or when I have to work outside for a couple hours, I will put mascara on, not to look pretty for anybody, but just to protect myself. Just because, sometimes it's easier to put mascara on than it is to go get petroleum jelly. And usually my petroleum jelly is in my tack shed with my horse stuff. So priorities, I guess, are a little different for my beauty hacks. So yeah, I'm gonna make dinner. So today I'm gonna make a baked bean with stuff that is out of my pantry. Chaz and Tyson are supposed to both be home today. It's switch day, so that means Chaz comes from his mom's house, and he will be here. As far as I know, he's coming, and he should be home around supper time or just after. So I always like to make sure there's enough here for him. He does like to take leftovers to school. He actually prefers leftovers to go for school. Yeah, so I'll get to work. I'll quit yapping and get to work. We haven't had ground beef for like 6 months. I thought we were out. And I'm gonna pull out a bacon that I can kind of use up over the week, this weekend. I think for dinner, what I wanna do is, I haven't tried it yet. Here, corn on the cob, frozen on the cob like that. I think what I'm gonna do for supper for my pantry challenge is I'm gonna do corn on the cob from our garden that I harvested. This is like allure corn. Oh, it is so good. It grows so well in our climate. I didn't know till last year when I tried it. After everyone said, oh, it won't grow. It grows really well. So I think I'm gonna do corn on the cob. Actually, I'm gonna keep it frozen till I'm ready to cook with it. Okay, I'm gonna just keep these frozen for now until I'm ready to cook with them. But I think I'm gonna do, I wanna do meatloaf. So I'll pull out the hamburger. I'm gonna pull out the bacon for other recipes. So with the meatloaf, I'm going to need ketchup. I use ketchup in my recipe. That's pizza sauce. That's ketchup. It says kitchen. Oh, it doesn't. It says ketchup. I don't even know. Between me and Chaz, I'm gonna have a toss-up going between whether I want to make like baked barbecue beans with like some Korean barbecue pork, some baked beans. Like this is stuff I pressure canned. I had a case of pork chops that I got on sale, so I pressure canned them up and I seasoned them with a Korean barbecue seasoning right into the jar before I pressure can them. I cold pack them and pressure can them just like that. And then I have just some chili beans, and I was thinking about maybe making that with my homemade barbecue sauce instead. I don't know. Actually, I think I'm gonna do that because then it'll give the hamburger time to thaw. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. So where? Oh, I'm gonna take this. I want to do some Cowboycandy brine. This is from the pickled jalapenos. And my homemade barbecue sauce. I know I have a ton of it. Where is it? It's kind of dark in here. I need to restock. That's ketchup. Tomato. Uh-oh, where is it? Oh, up here. It got moved. Barbecue. Yeah, I need to come in here and straighten out all my jars. That's all barbecue sauce. That's medium salsa. Holy crap, he ate one. Tyson comes in here and he steals, like he sneaks it. This is my husband we're talking about. He sneaks the salsa. I am like almost out of salsa. That's pasta sauce. So he ate, this was all salsa that I just did. And it's a whole roll, and there's only 2 jars left of salsa. This was a full row. Looks like I'm gonna have to get my canner out and make some salsa this coming week, you guys. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize he was eating so much salsa. I'll take 1 barbecue. And yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll come back. Oh, by the way, this little culprit right here, I cannot wait until it warms up because she is getting into way too much mischief. You are so mischievous. Boredom is not cool when you have a spunky kitty. When you have a spunky cat like that. Okay, so I brought 1 armload of stuff into for my meals this week or this weekend and today. So I have my beans, my Korean barbecue pork for the dinner tonight for today, the barbecue sauce, and the Cowboycandy brine. I have some fresh vegetables in the fridge. Plus, I'm gonna go back out to my pantry and get some onions and whatever else I think might be good in this dish. I have ketchup and ground beef out for meatloaf for tomorrow night. I make a glaze with ketchup and mustard. I don't have any mustard. I have dry mustard, and I do need to make some. I hope I'll have time today. I'm hoping the temperatures warm up enough where I can make some mustard and show you how I do it and can it. I don't know right now. As of right now, I don't have time to get it done because of the temperatures outside. The animals are priority. My livestock is priority. And then some bacon. So I'm going to take a colander and just go get some more food out of my pantry. I really wish I had a basket, like one of those woven baskets for like those pretty ones. So it felt more elegant to go grocery shopping in my pantry, but this will do. I found a couple onions and I'm gonna grab some potatoes. Okay. Really? What is that? What is it? Just a couple more. So, yeah. No light. I want to start with cutting the onions. Now, Kathy, one of our viewers, Kathy, had suggested that, like the last video I did, I said I didn't want to cut onions because my eyes were burning so bad. The reason I didn't want to cut onions, and she actually made a really good point, and I wanted to bring that up to anyone who tries to avoid using onions because of the burning of the eyes. Onions are a really good cleanser, and they do cleanse out your sinuses. And Kathy had brought that up in that video that I said I didn't want to cut onions because my eyes were bothering me. And she mentioned it, that was a really good thing to clean out your sinuses, and it'd be good to clear out your tear ducts with onions. It's a good thing. It's a medicine. It's healing. She had a really good point reminding me of that. And so today I am going to, the reason my eyes were hurting that day was because of what I just talked about, was the ice on the eyes. So what happened is I had done chores and I was outside for a couple hours, and my eyes, I didn't have any makeup on or anything like that, no mascara, no petroleum jelly, and I had no eye protection. And I had a lot of humidity because I was breathing. I had like that blue thing, the blue thing that I wear, this thing. I had that up, and so it was pushing lots of humidity up onto my eyes. And what happened is it built up lots of ice crystals, and then they started to rub on my eyeballs, and it ended up scratching my eyes a little bit. So they were a little bit sore, and I didn't want to irritate them anymore. So that's one of the things just to know, you got to wear proper protection. Doesn't matter how convenient or how inconvenient it is, you gotta wear proper protection and take care of yourself. Number one priority. I know this is gonna come up too, so I wanted to kind of put this in here about the ice buildup. So sometimes I have a horse that she gets these big, I'll post a picture here of what this looks like, but she has these big ice chunks that develop on her muzzle. And it's because when I feed the horses, they're always looking for those little seeds from the hay. They don't like the actual texture of the leafy bits on the hay. They like, or like the stems, they like the little tiny seeds that fall to the ground from the hay. That's what they're after. They love that stuff. That's what they're always looking for whenever I feed the horses. So it doesn't matter whether I feed them in a container or put it in a hay net, they're always gonna be going under and rifling around on the ground looking for those little bits and pieces. And it doesn't matter whether it's inside or outside, she's still, even if it's like, 10 degrees out, she sometimes will still get those buildup of ice on her nose. It's just the way she's built. So one of the things to prevent that is to put Vaseline on the muzzle of the horse. And so that's what I typically do. And so today that's one of the things I'm doing. So hopefully, I'm hoping it'll warm up and I can get Chaz to help me do some filming and show you how I actually do this in prevention of having ice build up on the horse's feet muzzle, and eyelashes. So maybe I'm hoping, fingers crossed. And if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments if you're interested to know or see how I do it. I mean, everyone has their own ways of doing stuff. Let's get cooking. I think this dish is the first one that I've made with only ingredients specifically out of my pantry, nothing out of the freezer. All homegrown ingredients out of the pantry. So I'm really excited for this. So to start these barbecue beans, I just chopped up some onions. I like to leave them in big pieces when I'm roasting things for a long time. I also chopped up a couple of bell peppers that I did find actually in the back of the fridge. Had I used some of my freeze-dried peppers, then I could have actually said that this was 100% homemade, homegrown, except for the pork. I did buy the pork, but I did can it myself. So it was so close to being a homegrown, completely homegrown meal. I like to chop my peppers really big pieces again when I am cooking for a long duration of time. I took out the seeds in this jalapeno because the dish is already going to be really spicy because of the Korean pork that I'm putting into it. Remember the bacon the other day when I made those chicken thingies with the Cajun seasoning? These are the bits and pieces that I had froze and I was planning to use for potato soup, but I think that it went a lot better in this dish anyway. So I just added some pepper to the bacon. It was frozen, that's why I added water and let it simmer for a bit before I started cooking it. I just dumped in my vegetables that I had chopped up. I then seasoned it with some granulated onion and granulated garlic. Next, I added some Cowboycandy brine, which is the leftover brine that I had from the candied jalapenos I had canned up this fall. Now, this is the Korean barbecue pork that I had pressure canned. I had ordered a case of pork chops. My family didn't like them because they had that barn taste because they were commercial. And so I just pressure canned them up earlier this year with some Korean barbecue spice in the raw pack method when I pressure canned it, and it turned out really good. It's very spicy. Next, I added some molasses, I think about a tablespoon, and this was the homemade barbecue sauce that I had made up and canned earlier this year from tomatoes I had grown. Next, I added some beans that I had pressure canned up, and I needed just a sprinkle of celery seed in there, so that's what I did. It smells amazing. It is so good. I then put it in the oven and baked it slow and low all day. Then Tyson come home and helped me get my truck started. Thankfully, it warmed up and it was able to start with a boost without having to put a Herman Nelson under it to thaw it out. Next, I decided I wanted to air fry some potatoes, so I just chopped up these little red potatoes into bite-sized pieces. Since I had grown these myself, I don't typically peel my potatoes unless they really need to be peeled if they have a lot of damage to them or are scabby. But these ones were grown in organic soil, so I just scrubbed them really well. Here I'm soaking them in some ice water. I want to get the starches out, and I just let it sit all day with that. I strained it out and gave it a good little rinse. I find that the red potatoes aren't nearly as bad with starch as the yellow potatoes. So I just laid out a cloth on the counter and I spread the potatoes out. I was trying to get the excess moisture off of them. I just did that by putting another cloth on top or a tea towel and just kind of massaging it around to eliminate any of the excess moisture that may have been left on them from soaking. So I just drizzled them with some oil. Usually I would use avocado oil. I didn't have any on hand, so I'm using up some canola oil. I know, I don't typically. I then seasoned it with some Lowry's seasoned salt, some pepper, and some granulated garlic and granulated onion. And just gave it a really good toss around, mixed it up very well, made sure all of the pieces had an even seasoning. Here I would normally add beef bouillon, but I wanted to go smoky, so I added some smoked paprika, and I just dumped it all into my rotisserie basket for my Pampered Chef air fryer. And I always make sure I preheat my air fryer when I'm doing any type of rotisserie. It really makes a big difference in the evenness of cooking. On a side note, I scratched the crap out of my stove cleaning it this morning. I wasn't paying attention and I was scrubbing away with this new spongy thing. I am like so upset. I'm wondering how to get these scratches off of this surface, what to do. It's still filthy because I just cooked on it, but I gotta clean it again because the stove just cooled off. But anyone have any suggestions how to get these scratches? Please let me know. Please tell me. Thank you. So this is the end result. I really enjoyed this meal. I think that I will make more Korean barbecue pork for my pantry in the future so that I can specifically make this dish. I really love the way it pulls it all together with all the flavors, especially with the brine of the Cowboycandy. It is like nothing you've ever tasted before. It is so delicious. The potatoes were awesome as well. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really enjoy doing these videos with you and getting to know you from all over the world. I know there's so many people from all over. Thank you guys so much for being here in this part of this journey with me. It's actually giving me something to look forward to, being stuck here in these extreme conditions. And you know, it means the world to me that you're here with me, encouraging me. I love my lifestyle and I love being able to showcase these skills. It's not something that makes me afraid or anything like that, but I really appreciate all your kindness and encouragement. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now. All right, Tyson's gonna taste test and tell me what he thinks. Those potatoes, and Tyson thought I made chili and he absolutely hates chili. So, what do you think?
Really good.
You like it?
Yep.
Win-win?
Yep.